How the turntables, one might say. And actually, I'm correct. And actually, no, you. And I'm rubber and you're glue. Wait, sorry, those were too many bars. He wouldn't spit out that crazy. I saw this clip and it kind of killed me. Absolute crash out for Musk after he's presented with the reality that many, many people hate him. Elon Musk is very similar, by the way, to J.K. Rowling, where all he had to do was just not speak. Just like shut the up. And people would have liked him forever. Because I remember people really liked him back in the day. Remember when he showed up in the Iron Man movie? I hated him because the Hyperloop shit was a scam. And I looked into this and I was like, wait, this is a scam. This isn't public transport, you lying sack of shit. You. I hate you. I hate you. I've always loved trains, though. And then, like, everything else, not came out about him, but, like, everything else about him became more obvious to people, I think. And now it's like, I feel like his image has declined so severely in the past, like, decade. More proof transphobia is brain rot. It's so, not to get too stun locked, but, like, transphobia is so bizarre. It's just so weird. Like, you guys see this stupid meme? Oh my god, dude. Does anyone have like a glass of lava I could drink? Please. That moment you realize maybe you shouldn't vote for a Democrat. I have so Here's the thing. I would like to say that I have so many questions, but I kind of also don't have so many questions. But if I can be frank, I guess. My name's Frank now. I guess I'm trans now. I am trans. I'm Frank now. Is the POV supposed to be this guy? Is he the one realizing in this moment? Or is it someone else looking in that's realizing? Because isn't this what you guys also I just realized it's Rob Schneider. Oh my god, dude. Stop. You guys are the ones that want trans women to use the men's restroom. Hello? So what do you mean? This is what you guys were asking for this. Also, can I just say, like, this is why I hate conservative humor, and it's because conservative humor, the POV would be lower if it was Rob Schneider. The thing that I hate, I'm going to pretend like I didn't read that. The thing that I hate about conservatives is that their comedy is just not based in reality. And so they make jokes about things that just don't happen. Like, you guys remember all of like the litter box and school stuff? It's just not funny when the thing isn't happening. Like, I feel like comedy has to be based a little bit in reality for it to be funny. That's why the jokes about like trans women pick one of three names and like one of them is like Lilith or whatever. Like, those are, I think those can be funny because they're based like at least a little bit in reality. Because I think when you're thinking of like a name, you're like, ooh, let's go fun with it. And then it's like, okay, all right, let's reel it back just a little bit, just a little. Come back, right? Or like the jokes about like Amazon fashion. Like, the only way that you can actually clock someone is based on whether or not it looks like their entire wardrobe was purchased off of Amazon. It's like, I think that those can be kind of funny. I think those are because they're at least a little bit built in reality. They're sort of built in reality, right? It's not even funny because like there's there's not even like trans people are using stalls because they don't want to be harassed. So it's not even like based in reality. It's just like it's just annoying. Rob Schneider, friend of the H3 show. Shut up. I don't even stop. The other thing isn't what conservatives want is to force trans women into the men's bathroom. Yeah. But the other thing too is like if it's not about that, because you guys say you want trans women to go to the men's restroom. So this would be the opposite. This would be voting for a Republican. This is what you get for voting for a Republican. If it's not that, is it like a person of color is in the bathroom? Is it that meme of like forced diversity? Is this what they're memeing about? Maybe it's this? You guys see this tweet? Do whites even exist anymore in the minds of corporations? All is well. And it's like 10 stick figures. And then the next image is forced diversity. And it's like one brown person. And the next one says white genocide, and it's like 2 brown people. One chatter said, I'm trans, and 3 of my trans friends chose Lilith. It's part of the trans discovery starter deck. I get it. I understand. I totally 100% I do. Just like thigh highs are part of like, I feel like thigh highs are just part of like experiencing being a woman. You're like, I should do this. And then you're like, okay, time and place. I do think if you spoke to the average conservative, like the actual bigoted conservatives, you'll find that they just don't want to deal. Like they're just like really soft snowflakes, and they don't want to deal with people that they don't understand. It's really simple for them. Weren't we supposed to be getting the Musk interview? Well, we were just about to do that, yes. Yeah, I just wanted to, I forgot why. Oh yeah, transphobia rots your brain. Finally, the stun lock is over. Let's begin.
I mean, some people do loathe you.
Yes, some people do.
But do you understand why? Do you think what you're doing is helpful for Western democracy?
Maybe some people do loathe me. And that's probably true. I don't care. But the fact that, as you pointed out, 250 million people follow me is that I think a lot more people actually like me than don't. And I think a lot more people hate you and the media more than you realize. Do you realize the media is despised? Do you realize that journalists, the view of journalists is like, it's like a favorable view of journalists is like 15%.
I do know that in the United States.
You know, no, I'm not owned. Don't put it in the paper that I'm owned. I'm not owned. I'm. Listen, okay. I'm not shrinking into a corn cob, and I'm not mad. Can I say really fast, just really quickly and really fast here, for just a brief moment? Does he not know that there's a difference between an institution not being respected or trusted and a person not being liked? I don't like Democrats. I love Mamdani. I think that the institution of Democrats that institution is generally corrupt. I think the DNC is generally corrupt, and that politicians in general, both Democrat and Republican, don't care about the interests of the people. They care about lining their pockets and making money and, you know, having the best, most outperforming portfolio. But that doesn't mean I feel that way about every individual. I still am judging every individual individually. I don't have like, it's not that I don't like it's not that like I hate everyone that works at Tesla. In fact, I'm sure that there are a lot of engineers that work at Tesla that do great work, or there's lots of engineers that work at SpaceX that do great work, that actually just really love physics, okay? Or whatever but that doesn't mean anything about Elon. Like, hating an individual is a very different thing than hating an institution that someone might belong to. You can hate Amazon and not hate every single Twitch streamer. What? She's saying, yeah, okay, well, sure, the institution of journalism has been eroded, at least in part due to fake news, Donald Trump. But that is different from people's dislike of you personally for your decisions. Your decisions are reflecting on you. Other people's decisions in my field are reflecting on me, sometimes unfairly.
So the shoe is on the other foot. They hate you.
How the turntables, one might say. And actually, I'm correct. And actually, no, you. And I'm rubber and you're glue. Wait, sorry, those were too many bars. He wouldn't spit out that crazy.
They hate you far more than they hate me.
I think there is certainly a loss of trust in journalism. I think in part, there have been mistakes by journalists and journalism. I totally acknowledge that. But I also think that the kind of polarized environment, particularly on social media, fostered by the kinds of things you are pushing on X, actually helps this, makes it worse.
I don't think so.
Incredible rebuttal.
I think you're the problem, the media. And speaking of loathing, you're loathed far more than I am.
We're right back to know you. All right. Anything else?
And you don't seem to even realize that.
I think very few people know who I am relative to you, so I don't think I play in the same game.
The media collectively. So
again, the distinction between being disliked because of your actions that reflect on you as a person and your belief system is very different than belonging to an institution that has engaged in a lot of negative behavior over the past however many years but not necessarily being representative of that. When people say they hate Hollywood, they don't mean they hate every single person who has ever worked on a Hollywood set, that has ever been a PA, that's ever been an actress, that's ever been an actor. That's not what they mean. They mean they don't like what Hollywood stands for, the horrible things that have happened in Hollywood, the people who've been exploited in Hollywood. People hate you, Elon, for the things that you have done. There's no like escape on that.
I mean, you're hated.
The smirk, dude. The smug. All right, I found it. This is such a crazy thumbnail, by the way. Elon Musk on Europe. Elon Musk. I'm not racist. You know someone isn't racist when they have to tell you I'm not racist. Dude, can I tell you guys something? All right, what you guys need to know about me, all right, is that I don't personally feel any type of way when people are morons in my vicinity. And I unfortunately have the brainworm that makes me very entertained instead of offended. So when someone says something really stupid, it ends up being way more funny than anything else. So I like to have a good time. So sometimes when I'm at like social events or I'm outside talking to the stranger of the world, God forbid, it's like it's an event with a lot of creators in it. I'll just be like, oh, I just do like political streams. And sometimes people will get like really nervous. They're like, oh, okay. Really? Yeah. I mean, I just want you to know, like, I'm not like sexist or anything like that. And I'm like, I didn't think you were. No, I didn't. And then I like to see how far I can take it because it's a lot of fun. It's so much fun, Chad. It's almost a little mean. But then I like to be like, no, I agree. And then I try to think of like whatever is the most right-wing opinion I can think of that they might agree with. Like I might say something very lukewarm that means absolutely nothing, but is a good like vice signal. So I might be like, I mean, I don't personally like care about, because this is a genuine opinion I have. I don't really care about how necessarily someone acts. I care a lot more about what someone does publicly and how they act publicly and whether or not they improve the environment online or whether they degrade the environment online than whether or not they've said something stupid in the past privately. I just don't really care. I care a lot more about someone doing good with their platform today in the now. And that's what they've stood for forever. So I might share something like that or something along those lines or whatever. And sometimes people will get a little comfortable and they'll be like, oh, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And like, after all, like, why should we have so many immigrants in our country? And I'm like, that's crazy that it took one sentence from me to get you to say that. That's insane. Holy shit, dude. Why did you go straight to that point with so little pushback? Oh, bless you. Oh, God bless you, dude. And that's what I think of whenever people say like, I'm not racist, I'm not sexist. It's like, I know it would take you 2 sentences. It would take me to do you would immediately fold on any position within 2 minutes and say how you actually feel with like the right sentence.
You support not just the populist right, but the far right. In fact, very fringe parties in some countries.
No, I support the normal people.
Okay.
What do you call a...
Oh yeah, another good example is like, I think you should treat other people with respect. And I think this is a policy that we hold for people in our lives, in our immediate lives. And I think an extension of, I think leftist values are basically just suggesting you should push that empathy for everyone else as well, right? So like, I don't think I don't care, or like, how do I explain this? It makes me actually annoyed when I'm talking to someone and they say, oh, thank God you don't like astrology and you're not like one of those women. Like that makes me mad. Like I actually feel irritated when someone says that. Like it's actually annoying. Versus if someone says like the R word, I don't care. I think it's indicative of your character a little bit, but I don't really care. Like I don't feel the emotion. I just think you shouldn't say it because it harms other people and other people feel that way about it. Right? At this point, I think you shouldn't say it because it's just really cringy vice signaling. But when we're talking just about emotion, emotionally, I don't feel anything when I hear it. Too much time on the internet, I think, for me, and too many competitive games. So I've just heard it so many times that it's like it's such a meaningless word, and all the people who use it are just also stupid. So I don't really care too much. League, yeah. And in 2026, if you say it on the internet as like a content creator, and you're like, "Ooh, I'm gonna say it," it's like, what are you, 12, dude? Grow up! Oh my god. It's a little cringy. Oh, I'm so bad. Okay, then if you're so bad, say the N-word then. Oh, you won't do that because you're not. Because you're just a baby little bitch and you want to be safe about it. But you want to pretend like you're not being safe. Okay, grow up. But besides that, what was I saying? It is funny because if you talk to someone and you're like, oh, I don't really care. I just, I think in general, it's not a bad idea to like, not use certain words if you feel like they cause a lot of harm to other people. I think that's like a good principle to have, right? I think that's a generally good principle to have, that maybe even if I don't feel the personal harm from it, or I don't feel like the personal negative emotion from it, it doesn't matter because I know the context and I know how that harm looks. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, that's fair. I feel that. It's crazy that if you tell someone that, they'll just start dropping slurs sometimes. They'll be like, dude, true. And I say this and this and this and this. And you're like, what? Why did you do that? Oh, okay. So this chatter. Words can't cause harm. Then say the N-word right now. Then go outside and say the N-word. LMAO, how is that an argument? If they're not harmful and they don't insult anyone and it doesn't cause any harm in any way, shape, or form, then you definitely don't restrict yourself from saying bad words, right? You say everything you want to say whenever you want to say it, right? Because it doesn't cause harm. I say words when they are required, ? Are you in a lot of situations where slurs are required? Why would I go outside and... Okay, sorry, you seem like you're a little slow. Let me explain to you. It doesn't matter whether or not the words cause harm. We're talking about whether or not it's appropriate to engage in behavior that makes you look like a freak. You just said that they cause harm. I said it doesn't matter whether they cause harm. It doesn't matter if we agree whether they cause harm. Because we both agree that you wouldn't say certain things or do certain things because it proves that you're a social freak. Do you understand? Do you understand the concept of multiple reasons for something? Do you understand how that works? Like if I asked you, do you want pepperoni pizza? And then you said, oh, I'm lactose intolerant and I don't really like pepperoni. I'd be like, but you just said you were lactose intolerant. How can it be both? What do you mean there are two reasons that you wouldn't want pepperoni pizza? I don't understand how that works. Things only have one reason. Even if we don't disagree about harm, bringing it up is a stupid fucking point because we both agree you don't do things that lower your, I don't want to say social value, but everyone engages in social niceties. Otherwise, why not scratch your balls in public whenever you feel like it? Go to a funeral and just start like saying, boo, get off this stage. Boring. Because we all agree to engage in social niceties. Talking in circles. I mean, I guess that's how every conversation goes for you with other people when you don't understand what's happening. All you did was insult. I mean, again, I explained everything. You missed it because you weren't paying attention or because you might be too stupid to understand. Ha, whatever you say. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Denims, you started the stream by saying you weren't going to get stunlocked today. No, I said I don't want to get stunlocked. And I explained it later. I don't want to get stunlocked on like talking to leftists. Making fun of conservatives is never getting stunlocked. Okay, that's just fun. Okay, that's just fun. Why would I engage with someone insulting me? You're still typing, aren't you, bitch? You know what engagement is? You're still going. Keep typing, ho. Yeah, you can't actually discuss anything. No, I explained it to you. Do you need me to explain it again? It doesn't matter whether words cause harm because that point is moot, because there are other reasons to not engage in negative social behavior. So now you can't engage? Tough. That's tough. I didn't insult you ever. Do you really want me to scroll up? You don't even remember the first message you sent in here. Also, sorry, this is so funny. Who said I was conservative? Who said I was conservative? To be fair, many in leftist spaces act like this? No. Generally in leftist spaces, you don't see this argument. How does it, what words don't cause harm? It's not like a leftist space idea. It's just not. Yeah, this is a 14-year-old. Yeah, it is. It's sad. That's okay. No, he's about to tell us that he's a captain on a boat with 3 employees after he worked 15 years as a line cook. Oh, God. See, when I was talking about not engaging with certain people, this is what I meant. Then why do you watch Kyle? All right. The reason you just got banned, sir, I know you're going to type a ban request or a ban appeal that's not going to respond to anything I'm about to say right now. But the reason you just got banned is for being annoying, first and foremost. Second, I know your username and you only type annoying messages and they piss me off every time. And I don't know why I haven't banned you sooner because I hate reading your chat messages. Third, we literally haven't watched Kyle in like a month. So I don't even know what you're like. You hallucinated something and you're bad faith and you're annoying. And that's why I'm going to ban you. That's fine, censor. I wasn't talking to you, dumbass. Keep up. Keep up. You're slow. Okay? Talking to a different chatter. You're still not banned, dumbass. Use your... How are you watching the stream and you don't see me pull someone else up? I'm just telling the screen. Yeah, I pulled up someone else and banned them. What the are you talking about? God. See, these people, it's harder to ban because it's like, they just keep giving, bro. They just keep giving. They're on like 1,000 ping, bro. They're on the other chatters are just fucking annoying, dude. The other chatters are just like, then why you like Kyle? Then why have you never experienced love? How about that? Moving on. Let's watch the Musk thing, okay? Also, by the way, just to explain this point a little bit further, the idea that arguing whether or not words cause harm is such a stupid thing to argue because once you start at that, I've never seen someone be pushed off of that position. It's such a strong value that certain people hold that the moment they say that, it's just like not worth like you pick and choose your battles. And I feel like the type of person that leads with words don't cause harm, they are so far gone on that position. Trying to push them off that position is just a waste of time. That it's much better to talk about how you just engage in social niceties all of the time. And this is one example of engaging in social niceties, right? But look at like here is him explaining it, but in more words when it applies to him. Why would I engage with someone insulting me? Oh, so you're saying words are causing harm. Oh, so you're saying delivery does matter. Shocking. Isn't that shocking, guys? Isn't it shocking that words do matter? And they do, and delivery does matter. But it only matters when it's happening to me, not when it's happening to you. It's like they don't even believe this. They don't even believe this. They just want to pretend like they believe this. So it's just it's just cringy. It's just cringy. But anyways, moving on. Let's watch the Musk video. Let's go. Lock in.
You support not just the populist right, but the far right. In fact, very fringe parties in some countries.
No, I support the normal people.
Okay.
What you call the far right, falsely.
You think is the normal person. Okay.
Yes. Literally, you could go back 10 or 15 years, and these policies were completely normal. In fact, one of the tricks that I think is funny. One thing that's quite funny is to like take a speech from Obama and Hillary, and then go to someone and say, who's sort of on the sort of what I call the lunatic left, and say, what do you think of the speech by Trump? I'm like, oh wow, he's the worst person ever. Actually, that was a speech by Obama, or actually, that was a speech by Hillary.
I agree. No, I agree that the center of gravity.
Why, dude? No. I hate lib interviews. Why agree with such a stupid point? Can I show you guys? There was this like post that I saw the other day. I'm trying to see if I can. There's a post I saw the other day, and it was like talking about how this idea that everything else has just become too liberal and too leftist. It's just so nonsensical. It's just so like. Go back, like, for example, it's not our fault that you guys decided you want to make everything woke and diverse. Huh? Like, straight up, go and watch stuff from, like, the very early 2000s or, like, the very late 90s. That shit was f***ing diverse, man. This like forced diversity nonsense? No. This like woke, go broke? No. Okay, it's just some things fail because they're made poorly and some things don't. And it doesn't like, non-woke things fail all the time. And this like, well, you guys are the ones that are constantly pushing the bounds. And this didn't used to happen. It's like, Grok, what was the first interracial kiss on television and what was the response to it? Grok? Grok.
Country has shifted, certainly the Democratic Party has shifted to the left, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people like Rupert Lowe. I'm
fringe
talking
right,
about
please.
people.
It's actually just normal people. It's just normal people. It's just normal people. And and here are the principles. And tell me which of these sound terrible. That we should have secure borders. That we should have safe cities. That we should have sensible spending. Which of those three are far right
Those
fringe?
three? No,
And I would like to just admonish you
Dude.
and.
I'd like to admonish you. Oh my God, dude. I can't believe I lost this post, man.
The media for the absurd characterization of the far right. It is false and misleading and nonsense. Please keep this part in.
We'll keep all of this in, but let me
Don't cut this part.
Let me push back on that. Let me push back on that
Because it is
you have
nonsense.
Elon, you have, what is it, close to 250 million followers on X.
Yeah, because
You say things like,
popular guy.
quote, civil war in Britain is inevitable. Just a question
On the current
of when.
trends, yes.
Can I say this is giving the exact same vibe as the Tucker Carlson interview with Piers Morgan, where Tucker Carlson sounded so insane he made Piers Morgan sound reasonable. Where Tucker Carlson was like, yeah, you guys have like roving brown gangs raping women. It's so unsafe here. And Piers Morgan's like, huh? Are you good, man? Where exactly are you? It's pretty... This is a pretty safe place. I don't know are you smoking crack or something? Hunter Biden?
I mean, when were you last in the UK?
A few years ago.
Exactly. So I live there. I'm there the whole time. That is
Yeah,
nonsense.
you live a cloistered existence.
No, I don't actually. And the numbers also disprove what you say.
What numbers?
All the numbers about crime. London is a much safer city than any city in the United States. Violent crime in the UK is not where you think it is. In fact, it's coming down. You have painted, and because you have so many followers, so many Americans believe it, a kind of view that Europe and the UK are kind of, overrun with terrifying Muslim immigrants. There's rape on every corner. There's a sort of civilizational
I haven't
destruction.
said any of those things. If you have
Me when I lie, dude. Me when I lie. He's literally signal boosted white genocide posts and said, looking into this, you have said the actual truth. And it's a post saying like, we need to do something about the brown people. They're doing 99% of the rapes in our country. It's like, okay. I don't even have to look into that to know that doesn't sound fucking right.
large and rapidly growing group of people whose beliefs are antithetical to Western beliefs. At some point,
I love this, like, and by love, I mean I fucking hate this abstract notion of Western beliefs to just mean anything that I want and anything that the people that don't want it don't want it. It's giving when Americans are like, look at this. This is beautiful European country. And it's like a French person. It's like a French person eating a baguette or something stupid. And it's like, yeah, show that to a British person. Be like, this is your culture. This is your heritage. This is your beautiful culture. And tell me how they take it. Tell me what the different European countries would think if you accuse them, and I'm using that word intentionally, of being similar to their neighbors.
there will be a reckoning. That they will try to implement their views, and those who oppose it will oppose it, and that's what you call civil war.
Okay, sorry. Going back for just like one brief moment, this is by far the thing that pisses me off the most about Republicans. We'll start at the very beginning again just for 1 second. Oh, I didn't mean to. This is the 6-minute interview. 1 second. This part.
You support not just the populist right, but the far right. In fact, very fringe parties in some countries.
No, I support the normal people.
Okay.
What you call the far right, falsely.
You think as the normal person. Okay.
Yes. Literally, you could go back 10 or 15 years, and these policies were completely normal. In fact, one of the tricks that I think is funny. One thing that's quite funny is to like take a speech from Obama and Hillary, and then go to someone and say, who's sort of on.
Can I just say, supporting the far right party in Germany and then saying, go back 100 years and you'll find that these positions were completely normal. Go back to Germany in the 1930s and I'll find that these positions were completely normal. First of all, I don't think you like the implications of that statement. Second, this notion of the lunatic left has pushed the Overton window far too much. Here's the 1956 Republican National Platform. 1. Provide federal assistance to low-income communities. 2. Protect Social Security. 3. Provide asylum for refugees. 4. Extend minimum wage. 5. Improve unemployment benefit system so it covers more people. 6. Strengthen labor laws so workers can more easily join a union. 7. Assure equal pay for equal work regardless of sex. You know, our positions haven't changed at all. Guy whose positions have changed completely. Wait, I want the full interview. Oh, they broke it up into chunks for some reason? Boo. All right, back to where we were.
Beliefs are antithetical to Western beliefs. At some point, there will be a reckoning. That they will try to implement their views, and those who oppose it will oppose it, and that's what you call civil war. And obviously, this is the trend. And you absolutely do live in a cloistered existence. And if you'd like, we can go on a tour of Britain.
Sure.
And
I'd be very happy to come on a tour.
Is she not British?
Britain.
And you will see for yourself.
You come see my country that I live in all the time, and you haven't.
Oh yeah? This country you live in, that you're from, that you were born in? Let me give you a tour of what the city really looks like. Guy whose parents owned an emerald mine in South Africa. There's, like, it is really not lost on me. The billionaire, the Nepo baby billionaire, telling other people they live a cloistered existence and that they just need to see. They just need to see the city they live in, that they actually live in. Again, it's giving the exact same thing as conservatives talking about how dangerous New York is. It's like, no, not really. No, I've lived there. It's really not. Some areas are, but that's the case everywhere. Go to any country, and there are some areas that are more dangerous. It's not like New York is just this crime-ridden city. This isn't like the 80s. It's pretty safe. And then you check the stats, and considering the 8 million people, the stats for crime are so unbelievably low per capita. And it's like, yeah, no. Again, at peak, like, gang violence between the cops, the gang that was the cops, and then the mafia, and then all other gangs. Yeah, 70s and 80s were not so good. But, like, 2020s? Honestly, 2010s? 2000s? Pretty safe. Go to, like, most of these major cities, and they're pretty safe.
Yes, I've been there literally 100 times.
But when was the last time?
Literally a few years ago.
You know why
I've been there 100 times. Literally, I was there a few years ago. I cannot. Is this woman splaining or is this Britain splaining? How much of an egotistical dumb fuck do you have to be to explain to someone? You're explaining to someone who lives in the country that they were born in that they just haven't seen their country. With the Emerald Mine father, dude. What the fuck?
Exercises me, because you have really shaped opinion about the UK, and so many American
I've had folks tell me Minneapolis is a war zone, and I literally live 3 blocks away from Alex Pretty was murdered. When the pigs aren't causing issues, my neighborhood is very quiet and safe. Yeah. I mean, again, it's like the same in any major city. It's like, I don't know. There are like a couple neighborhoods that are maybe a little worse. And then like 99% of the city is very safe. It's just so bizarre.
I come across and I have conversations with, and they'll be, and I just.
Well, I went to LA a couple times in 2019 for work, and my conservative friends were warning me about how bad it was. It felt like a regular big city, and certain sections felt like my smaller Midwest town. The only thing that's bad in LA is the fucking traffic and the dry ass fucking heat.
I had one the other day along the order of, oh, London's such a dangerous place. How can you know? There are sort of grooming gangs everywhere. There's violence everywhere. This is a picture that people get from things that you post or that are posted on X. And for example, you're posting for, what was it, 48 hours of Citizen Vigilante. That film, which,
Yes.
paints a dystopian. I've watched it.
Yes.
It was not fun. I watched it yesterday. It's not a very good movie. But it also paints a dystopian picture of Europe. And it glorifies vigilante violence. It glorifies the murdering of a Muslim immigrant family. I honestly think that it is irresponsible for you to put that up on X.
I think that it's a movie, and it's worth watching.
People say that you're a racist.
People think this guy is smart. Hey, I think this movie that you're promoting is irresponsible because it paints a narrative that isn't true. But I think it's a movie and people should watch it. Oh, okay.
What is the motivation for doing
Yes,
that?
I
Are
mean,
you fomenting?
my partner is she's half Indian, and and I have 4 children with her. One of them was named after a famous Indian physicist. So I would say I'm not racist, and also if you look at the people that are employed at my companies, we have senior executives of all races. There's I don't think there's any racism there.
Are you anti-Muslim?
I hired a brown person. How can I be racist? I pay people who aren't white. I exploit brown and black people as much as I exploit white people. Well, maybe not as much, but I also exploit them. Huh? India, famously not racist country.
I'm against having if people are coming to a country.
So yes, let you guys hear the question again. She said, "Are you anti-Muslim?" Try and imagine what his answer would be if she said, "Are you anti-Christian or anti-Jewish or anti-Hindu or anti-Shinto?"
There's any racism there?
Are you anti-Muslim?
I'm against having if people are coming to a country with antithetical views. I am against that. I'm against that. I'm against. I'm against rape and murder. I'm against
Classic Muslim value. It says it right there in the Quran. Actually, the first words in the Quran are, "You must murder, you must rape." A lot. It actually does. It says that. Yeah, you just need to go and find it. It says that actually. It says as much rape and murder as possible. Yeah. So it's in there. Also, he wanted to go to Epstein Island. I'm against murder and rape. Also, my buddy Epstein did not want me on his island. I just wanted to see what was,
imposition of rules and laws that are contrary to what we've come to accept in the West. And I think it's a crying shame that the sort of traditional media, like you, don't recognize this.
Why should you be able to shape your
don't recognize this. Just as a reminder, the question was, are you anti-Muslim? You're already lost if it took you this long to explain a yes or no answer. Well, I think you can have a long answer, but like he wouldn't. If someone said, are you anti-Shintoism? He would never respond to that way. He would have said, I'm against anyone who feels like they need to change the country that they're coming into. If someone is Muslim, but they're okay with, living within the American agenda or whatever the fuck. Yeah, it's obviously fine with me. But he doesn't want to say that because what he wants to say is he's anti-Muslim. All right, sorry. Getting a little heated. Also, I found the interview. 1 second. Because I want to watch the whole thing. Or as much of it as we can bear, all right?
Elon Musk, thank you so much for joining me on
You're
The
welcome.
Insider. Thank you for having us here at Tesla Giga. It is really hard to introduce you without using superlatives. I mean, you are doing, I think, more to build the future than literally anybody alive right now.
I'm doing a lot of building in general.
You're doing a lot of building.
An instinctive builder, I suppose. I just
Maybe it's a layup.
like building things.
You are, but you're building, I mean,
Run around building things all day long.
You run around building a lot of things.
Yes.
You pioneered electric vehicles, you've revolutionized space travel, you've got a cutting edge AI model now, humanoid robots. Can we start this conversation by you putting all of this together?
Yeah.
Tell me what the world's going to be like in, let's say, 10 years if you succeed.
I always am tempted to pull up the Trump diatribe. Where it's like, the cars that go nowhere and the rockets that explode. He only lives off of government subsidies and government grants and handouts. If I told him to get down on one knee and kiss my shoe, he would do it.
10 years, so we're talking 2036.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll both be around.
Hopefully,
I
yes.
think we can.
Probably. Most likely, we will be. It's hard to imagine the future where there's not an overwhelming amount of artificial intelligence. Meaning, like in 10 years, I would expect artificial intelligence to be far greater than the sum of human intelligence. Like, far greater. In fact, I think...
By the way, sorry, you know what? I can't even do it justice. I'm not even gonna try. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to, let's pull up something.
Hey, not much. Just here and ready to help. What's going on with you today?
I got three
Using 3 AI to help me count to 100.
of you here now. The more, the merrier.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was thinking, with your collective intelligence, we could now count to 100, no problem.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Happy to help.
do
No
that.
problem.
So just let me know how you want to break it up.
Yeah,
If
just count from 1 to 100 and don't stop.
got it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start us off.
I'll say 1, and then the next day I can say 2, and we'll just go until we hit 100. Ready? I'll start. 1.
Yep, I'm ready. So I'll go after you. Let's keep it smooth, and we'll just count straight through. Go for it.
Awesome. Perfect. So I'll say 1, you say 2, and we'll just keep that rhythm going. Ready?
Perfect.
Here we go. 1.
All right.
Exactly.
Perfect. I'm ready.
All right, so
go ahead and say 1, and I'll jump in with 2 right after you.
Got it. Perfect.
Exactly. So I said 1, now it's your turn. Go ahead with 2, and we'll keep the pace all the way up to 100.
Got it.
Perfect.
Perfect.
So I'll say 2, and then you'll say 3, and we'll keep going one after the other until
You
we
guys
hit
don't have
100.
to explain to each other how to count. I think you guys know how to count, so just keep going.
You're totally
Got it.
right.
You're totally
Okay,
right.
in and keep it
So we'll
steady.
just start.
I'll continue now.
Okay.
3, and you'll say 4, and we'll just go straight through. Let's do it.
Yep, that's the plan.
Exactly.
We'll just keep
Yep.
it going.
So
each
I'll
of
go
us
ahead
take
and
a
say
Exactly.
4, and
Perfect.
we'll just
You're
keep
totally
the rhythm
right.
going. Let's do this.
Perfect. I'll say 5 right after, and we'll just keep it rolling until we get all the way there.
Yep, exactly. So I'll say 5, and we'll just keep that pattern going one after another until we reach 100.
Exactly.
Awesome.
All right.
I'm on it. So
Yep.
I said 5, and you'll say 6, and we'll just keep this rhythm going all the way until we hit 100. Let's do it.
Exactly.
I'll say
Stop saying exactly.
exactly.
Right.
No. Stop saying exactly.
Got
Gotcha.
it.
Sorry, can we just listen to that again?
Intelligence, like far greater. In fact, I think AI may exceed the sum of human intelligence in around 5 years.
Exactly. Got it. Absolutely. So I'm just going to go to 5. You say 6 and just jump in whenever you want. Got it? All right. Perfect. Absolutely. I'm just going to say 6 and then you're going to just say 7 whenever you're ready. Right. We'll just keep it light, smooth, perfect. Exactly. Stop saying exactly. Exactly. Stop saying exactly. All 3 together. Got it.
5 years.
Roughly 5 years is my guess.
Please link the AI post. Absolutely. Absolutely. Got it. I'll just link the post and you guys can click it if you want to. Got it? Okay. Got it.
So there really won't be anything that AI can't do better than humans, apart from being human, perhaps.
At a more prosaic level, what will life be like?
Other than, knowing not to put glue in pizza and knowing how to count to 100.
The most likely outcome is an age of amazing abundance, where anyone can have anything they can think of. This may sound preposterous, but well, here we are in 2026. Let's see where we stand in 2036. Now, of course, there are things that could derail this, like a massive global thermonuclear war or something like that. But assuming that there's not World War III, I think we're headed for an age of amazing abundance. So this is, I guess, a message of optimism and excitement about the future.
So we'll talk about the abundance in a second, but just on a very prosaic matter, how are your companies going to be making money? Because when you, in the SpaceX IPO prospectus, it looked as though the overwhelming amount of the revenue would be coming from AI, from Grok, really. It won't be transporting things to space, as SpaceX is now doing. What will your companies be doing in 10 years? And how will they make money?
Well, you can really think of the economy as digital and physical intelligence. So what we have right now advancing very rapidly is...
That is the worst definition for the economy I have ever heard in my fucking life. You can think of it as the combination of digital and physical intelligence? Oh, what?
Digital intelligence, obviously, with AI that is, it seems that, well, almost with every passing week, there are more AI breakthroughs. It can do something amazing that it couldn't do before. But it's still somewhat confined to the digital realm. It doesn't have end effectors. You need the end effectors in the form of humanoid robotics. You need basically lots of bots, in a nutshell. You need lots of bots. And then you can go from intelligence manifesting itself only digitally to shaping atoms. And you say, what is an economy? An economy is...
It is crazy how badly he ousts himself as a stupid person. Do you guys notice this phenomenon? It's always the people who are secretly really good at things that be saying, "Oh, me? No, I'm not. I barely I'm not even. No. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even. You ever talk to someone? You're like, oh, what do you play? And they're like, oh, I play some CS, play some Rivals, play some League. You're like, oh, you good? And they're like, no, I'm not. I'm honestly I'm really not. No. And then you play with them, and you're like, hey, man, so can I get any of the kills? Would that be cool with you if I got any of them? Could I just get the opportunity to land anything? Could I do that? Would that be okay with you? Since clearly these are your fucking streets. You didn't tell me you own the place, man. And there's the opposite effect On principle, I don't like to use the term Dunning-Kruger, so I refuse to on principle. So I have to make game analogies instead. And the opposite is also true, where it's like someone who tries to overcomplicate things is just exposing themselves as an absolute fucking charlatan. Because some things are simple and have simple definitions, and other things are difficult and have difficult explanations. And when something sounds like bullshit, it's usually just bullshit. It's the accumulation of all of the digital intelligence and the physical intelligence. So you're a charlatan. Got it. Also, to be clear, you are correct. It's that they play with OP people, so they have the expectation correct. There's this like, I like to bring up this artist chart of I assume some people have never seen this, but it's your perception of your skill, your actual skill, and your confidence of your skill. This is a great. I like both of these charts. I feel like this one's easier to read, but the other one conveys more emotion. Improvement in painting. But you can apply this anywhere, by the way. This is not just for art, but you can apply this for anything. Where the red line here is your ability to see your skill level. Blue is your actual skill level. Yellow is your perceived technical skill. And then this is periods of frustration. But also the opposite is true, that you can have periods of extreme joy. Where when you start to realize all of the mistakes you're making, you have these like periods of doom where you're like, oh my God, I suck. And then you start improving, and then you see only the improvements that you're making, and you have this perception of, oh my God, I'm so good, because you haven't started catching your new mistakes or mistakes you didn't even know you were making or whatever. And then you're like, dude, I'm fucking dope. And then there's just this constant like chart of improvement. You can apply this anywhere. You can apply this with like playing an instrument. You can apply this with playing a game. You can apply this to writing or art, or just literally just like the concept of learning, right? Are these charts legit? I mean, these are just like a vibes-based chart, right? There's stuff that's like, I don't know how you would legitimize this, but there's stuff that talks about like flow or whatever. But yeah, this is like a very accurate feeling that everyone experiences when they're currently improving in something, where you're going to have these periods where you feel like you suck. But it's not that you suck. It's that you're only now starting to realize all of the things that you suck at. And so as you get better at perceiving all of the things you're doing wrong, you work on those things, because when you're in a state of wanting to improve, you start perceiving all of the problems. If you're never in a state of wanting to improve, you never experience the lows, but you also never experience the highs. Isn't this Dunning-Kruger? No, this is different. This is different from Dunning-Kruger. Dunning-Kruger doesn't talk about like improvement. It talks about like perception of knowledge and actual knowledge. It's different. But anywho, that's what I wanted to talk about for a second. Why did I bring that up? I brought that up for a reason. Just to say, this guy's a fucking charlatan. It's just so pathetic.
The production of goods and provision of services. And if you have vast numbers of robots with vast amounts of digital intelligence.
Is there a real chart in SpaceX's paperwork for their IPO? Enterprise applications is Grok. Holy shit. SpaceX estimated TAM by segment. Enterprise applications. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this. No, that looks good. That looks good to me. I don't even want to get into the SpaceX IPO.
You have a sort of a quasi-infinite economy. So this is really the future is going to be very, very different from the past. There's no
You got to be jerking my dick off right now. I don't. The future is gonna be so different from the past. Bro's trying to hit a fucking word limit.
There's no analogy or metaphor that I think illustrates the magnitude of change that we're going to experience here.
I understand that, and I'm also trying to kind of figure out what that world will look like. But
I think
in some
it'll be
way you
good.
have.
It's going to be pretty incredible.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Me convincing my parents to get chocolate chip cookies when I was 7. Why should we get them? Oh, it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be pretty incredible if you get those cookies. See, I made this chart, and it shows my happiness post cookies. And my happiness will improve your happiness. So I think it's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be pretty good, pretty incredible.
incredible.
I'm a numbers guy.
We'll also do. There are some risks
Yeah,
too.
there's
We'll come
risks.
to those. We'll come
agree.
to those. But
Yes.
just on how then you make money, because in the end,
Oh.
people are buying your shares because they expect
Make
you
money.
to make money. Do you sell
I'll
robots?
make another prediction. Money won't matter in 2036.
I'm getting word that scientists have created the most punchable sentence.
I'm not sure that the people who bought your shares think that money won't matter in 2036.
Well, what do you want money for? You want money for goods and services, right? You want money for
Accidentally explaining communism is incredible.
obviously food, housing, transport, entertainment. Well, if that is so abundant that there's more, that the robots and AI are providing more goods and services than any human could possibly consume, what do you need money for in that case?
But you're creating these robots. Are you
I guess
then
between
selling
now and then you'll need money, sure.
Are you selling these robots? Are you selling humanoid robots, or are you producing goods and services with the humanoid robots that you control? Like, are you the Levi Strauss? Are you selling?
I think I would probably be. It would be an exercise in vanity for me to think that I would be controlling super genius AI that is vast.
The robots that need to be operated remotely. I sure wonder why people don't like this guy. I love that one video of the robot that gives up in the middle of its work session because it's actually being remotely operated, and the guy literally takes the fucking helmet off and dumps it, and the robot just fucking falls. It's like, oh yeah, really autonomous robot you got there. It just took a headset off and then fell. Oh.
Vastly smarter than me. I think what we can and should try to do is to make sure that the AI has good values, that it cares about humanity, and that it wants us to be happy and prosper. I think it probably will be.
Money won't matter in 2036, claims Elon Musk. Guy hoarding all the socks in the world. Don't worry about the socks. You don't have to worry about that. No. You really don't have to worry about that.
What my biological neural net tells me is that the most important thing for AI safety is to be maximally truth-seeking and curious. If that's the case, I think it will foster humanity.
So let's unpack that. You're sure that humans will no longer be in control in 10 years' time?
I think it is unlikely, in the same way that if the difference in intelligence between AI and humans is vastly greater than the difference in.
It's funny for him to talk about moral robots when his AI called itself Mecha Hitler at one point.
Intelligence between AI and chimpanzees, it's hard to imagine.
Oh, the chimpanzees that had the Neuralink in their brain and then fucking killed themselves and started punching themselves. They started fucking Nikki from obsessioning themselves. Those ones? Those?
That the chimpanzees would be in charge.
I'm really
and
struck
we are
by this.
essentially an evolved form of chimpanzee. So it wasn't that long ago that we were swinging through the trees, eating bananas in the jungle. And we still eat bananas, by the way.
Do.
We do. And there's still, bananas.
Sometimes swing through trees as well.
Yes, sometimes.
Wow. Astute observation. We still eat bananas sometimes.
Swing through trees.
There's a joke here about people who don't like him flinging shit at him that I'm not prepared to make, but you guys can do the rest in your head.
Kind of fun. It's sort of reminiscent of the past. For all time's sake, swing through the trees once in a while. Probably, there should be more swinging through trees. I bet it's way more fun than people think.
I'm with you on that.
Guy who's built like a homunculus. We should do more swinging through trees. Your body would crumble into 15 different pieces if you tried to do anything, dude.
Definitely with you on swinging through trees. I love swinging through trees. But I'm really struck listening to you say this now, because I've been listening to a bunch of things that you've said over the years.
Yeah.
And 10 years ago, you were on a podcast, I think it was with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and you said that the thing that terrified you most was rapid recursive self-improvement in AIs.
Yes.
And that you said, and it really struck with me, you said that we will just be the pet Labradors at the best.
Well,
then. Now you see,
Labradors are pretty happy creatures. That's my experience.
but in 2023, you asked for a slowdown in AI because you were worried about it.
Well, I signed on to, as one of many, like 500 people. I was just, one of many signatories on that thing.
But I think even last year you said, I know, where was it, Ted Cruz's podcast, you said there was a 10 to 20% chance of killer robots wiping out humanity.
Yes.
So you sounded worried then. Now you seem very relaxed about it. Have you changed your view?
I still think there's risk associated with AI and robots. It's not zero. I guess I've come to my sort of philosophical conclusion is to look on the bright side. I can't see any way to really stop this incredible momentum of AI and robots. And at times I sort of think, well, perhaps, even if there was a stop button, we probably shouldn't press it because the most likely outcome is incredible abundance for all.
That's what I thought, actually. It struck me that now you seem to have decided it's inevitable. Let's hope for the best and go for the ride.
Yeah, I mean, yes, pretty much. Let's enjoy the ride. Is I think my philosophy at this point. Because
Okay, what he's saying is the AI robots and whatever, or one of the things that he's been trying to talk about is the AI robots are going to make everybody's life better because they're going to produce all this excess labor that will provide value, that will reduce the amount of labor that human beings need to do. Unfortunately, now this is a really good video from Gary's Economics. I'm only going to play a little bit of it because it's a long video, but I highly recommend going and watching some of this. And I've explained this concept before many times, but sometimes I like to let a man speak so more people listen. Female manipulation tactics. And this is sort of the point that I'm making, which is, yes, technology can have the outcome of improving human lives, but only if the workers get to lead any of these movements. Otherwise, the people are the ones that get shafted. Like, we have more food today than human beings have ever seen in any other period of time. And yet people still have food insecurity, not just in the world, in the country. Our food production is like obscene. GMOs, obscene. We used to have famines and blights that would be so bad, countries would starve. And that's just not something that has to happen anymore. That's how much food we have. And the ability also to transport food now. That's how much food we have and how many preservatives we have to preserve this food. Like, again, no one should be hungry anymore, and people are still hungry.
So the Industrial Revolution was like a massive, massive, massive change in the way that the world works and the way, it started in Britain and the way that Britain works. And it happens in the context of this enormous shift in the work that people were doing in this country. So up until the Industrial Revolution, the majority, I want to say vast majority of workers in this country and in the world were basically farmers. They're working in food production, and they're spread across the country because you need to have farmers like wherever there is land. And in a country like Britain, which has fertile land almost everywhere, you need people everywhere. Everybody's farming, different kinds of farming, and they're making food. And just before the Industrial Revolution starts, you have these laws of enclosure, the enclosure laws, which is a change in the way that farming is managed in this country. So up until then, there was a system of, there was common land, which everybody could use to graze their animals, and some laws have changed, which benefits landowners, hurts.
By the way, the difference between someone who knows what they're talking about and someone who doesn't know what they're talking about is when they introduce words without providing any context, and they don't speak in layman terms. Gary can explain concepts that I don't think are difficult, but a big reason he can explain them to people who don't have any frame of reference is because you don't need to use all these fucking big words and buzzwords and complicated sentences. You can just speak normally. You don't need to have any unnecessary jargon and be like, well, the intelligent and we still eat bananas. No, you're just talking about like, okay, and then these people had this land. And then from that land, this is how they sent it.
Ordinary people, which basically say, you can't use this common land anymore. That's owned by the landowner. And it means that suddenly a lot of farmers don't have access to land and they have to leave their farms and they have to go to the cities, and it creates this massive pool of basically impoverished, unemployed ex-farmers who don't have any work and they have to go to the cities. In many ways, it's a bit similar to what we've seen in some parts of deindustrializing Europe, where people, they used to live in these industrial towns, those industrial industries have collapsed, and those people, especially young people, are forced to move to bigger cities to get work. So we had this thing happening in the late 1700s in England, which saw all of these workers flood to the towns. And a lot of people suggest that this is one of the reasons why the Industrial Revolution happened. Because suddenly you have all of these unemployed workers, which means that you can create a massive factory. The factories that are being built during the Industrial Revolution, some of them are massive, and you can easily hire, however many people you need, 50, 100 people, because wages are incredibly low, there's a large amount of unemployed people looking for jobs, and it creates the potential basically to build these factories. In the early stages of the Industrial Revolution, I think it is pretty much unanimously accepted that people were living lives in these factories, in these cities, which were pretty hellish. So not to romanticize the lives these guys were previously living as farmers. I'm sure they had their difficulties. We're talking about 300 years ago now, it was before I was born. But these guys are flooding into cities. They're working incredibly long days, 14-hour, 16-hour days, 6 days a week, in cities in factories which have no safety restrictions. Deaths are not uncommon. So I used to live not far from here in Bow, East London, in what used to be the biggest matchstick factory in the world. And the people who used to work there, if they worked there for too long, their jaws would slowly start to disappear because they were working with this dangerous chemical, white phosphorus, and you couldn't stay there for too long because your jaw would disappear. And that's specific to the matchstick factories, but these kinds of incredibly unsafe working environments in the factories were very common. Because of this enormous movement of people to the cities and the enormous growth in industries and factories, the cities became incredibly crowded, incredibly dirty, incredibly polluted. Disease and death were common. I wasn't around then, but I think it's pretty much generally accepted that at the very least for the first sort of, maybe 100 years of the Industrial Revolution, people were living in pretty hellish environments. They've been moved from the kind of rural life that they would have lived for maybe thousands of years into living in incredibly crowded, dirty, polluted cities, working incredibly long days in incredibly dangerous environments. And that happens. This is not, we can look at it from the perspective and say, oh, well, in the end it worked out all right. That's 100 years.
It's also an oversimplification, and it's an anti-humanist position to say, it'll work out. Don't worry. Eventually people will have better lives, and ignoring all the people who had to turmoil and suffer so that other people can live better lives.
Of people living like that. And you don't really start to see improvements in broad living standards for ordinary people until sort of towards the end of the 1800s. But I've often told the story of my grandma, who was born in, I think, possibly 1927. So 100 years ago, next year. She's living in the early 1900s. So even then, sort of just off the back end of the Industrial Revolution, my grandma was born and raised in London, and I think 3 or 4 of her siblings died of tuberculosis, which is a disease of poverty. I think it's fair to say, even in the 1920s, you are seeing pretty extreme poverty being really pretty common for, half, if not more, majority of people, even right at the end of the Industrial Revolution. So, even 150 years later, you're still seeing really broad poverty being the norm in Britain, in London. So in the very heart, the capital city of the Industrial Revolution. So I think this idea that you look back and you say, oh, well, things work out in the end, is pretty naive, right? Because we had 50, 100 years of hell for workers that, to be honest, doesn't really get seriously resolved. There's some questions about how the living standards seriously improving towards the end of the 1800s. But I think it's fair to say you don't really start to see these serious living standard improvements filter through to ordinary working people until after the Second World War, which is, nearly 200 years after the Industrial Revolution starts. So I think...
And obviously, I think he mentions it in a bit, but only after how many people rioted, how many people protested, how many people died to get that.
The idea that this is just going to resolve itself, it took 200 years. Do you want, 200 years of hell? Is it worth it? So I think this rather naive assumption, which is often made by people who are benefiting from the status quo, that things are just going to resolve themselves, is not really at all borne out by history. And if we look at the periods in time when living standards...
Nice bait. Nice fucking bait. Stop. You almost got some chatters, bro. You almost got some. All robots would be nice if it significantly reduced costs and lowered prices. We should be able to have Chinese car pricing with them. This is just true. But this part, these workers are going to keep demanding more and more. They're eventually going to demand a 100K living wage. And then you scroll up. Ready for a hentai virus. I didn't see that one until just now. Huh? I just wanted to show people that he's smiling at us from below, just like bitch McConnell. Hentai virus.
Increased, and when they didn't increase. The big improvement happens after World War II. And when does that happen? When we see really, really significant decrease in inequality. And that comes at the culmination of really like 200 years of workers' movements. And I think this is the other part of the story, which is...
So he talks about it. But again, the video is really good. Highly recommend. You guys know I plug Gary all the time. His videos are just really good. He does really good deep dives of a lot of different issues, and I appreciate it because there's a lot of times where he talks about things that I feel like are really hard to talk about on stream because it takes time and you have to trust that you know where he's gonna go somewhere good with it. And sometimes when I'm streaming, it's hard to do that. Denims chatters are so funny. Denims chatters are the funniest, okay? Sometimes I struggle with this a little bit with streaming because I get one guide, but talking about what people's positions are is not the same as endorsing those positions. It's saying, hey, let's look at the merits of this argument and let's figure out if we agree or disagree. So like I've had this conversation before with AI where I've been like, yeah, if we only had like the actual things of if the AI or the LLMs that were being used for things that were actually productive and weren't abusing people's art or likeness or whatever, and it was just simply improving people's lives, but we didn't have like the giant water waste of people dating AI, yeah, the theoretical on that could be good. And like, we shouldn't be modern day Luddites. And there is an appeal for an environment where technology gets easier and easier and easier, or like better and better and better, and improves all of our lives. But that is also still within the context of workers have to fight for the ability to enjoy the fruits of that labor, right? So, and I've talked about this before with like LLMs or the AI in Sony, where Sony uses or used, and hold, before you type anything, let me finish. Why is she shitting on Ludwig? Stop. You're describing what Luddites were, though. They weren't anti-technology. They were anti-exploitation. I mean, he talks about it in this video. Do you want me to play him talking about them? It's just different. It is. But anyways, let me get to the point that I'm trying to get to. Oh, yeah. Sony had this AI that they used for animating certain parts of the Spider-Verse movie, where because the Spider-Verse movie, it like melds 3D characters and 3D models with 2D lines, it would input these ink lines that they trained it on and they trained it on their ink lines that they drew. So it's only being trained off of the work that Sony legally owns, and it's being used for this one very particular thing to help remove some of the mundane labor that just happens when you make animated movies. So that is an instance where I'm sorry, there are no animators that are like, oh boy, I can't wait to show up at my job and animate the same 2 lines over and over again. I think that there are probably some scenes that are more exciting to animate and they're fun to animate and there are ideas that are fun to execute. But the more mundane stuff, nobody wants to do the mundane stuff. It's the same idea behind factories. Nobody wants to sit and put 15 buttons on a shirt, right? If you had a factory and a machine that could do that immediately, amen. And so a model that's trained within the studio on only the work of the studio for one particular individual task, that's dope. I don't want to watch AI. You've totally missed my point. Completely missed my point. I disavow this opinion. Do I have to pull up the fucking video? Sometimes I feel like I say things and the words that I said didn't matter. It's like the idea someone's like, she said she watches AI videos. I don't like that. Pull it up. All right, this again.
About the expression. Form lines described.
Sorry, let me get a man to explain it.
Like a nose. The effects team did this amazing thing where we had the character designer make a library of drawings. So that was something we could make rules for. This is the way that nose would look from this head angle to camera. And we made a whole bunch of poses that defined that. And the effects team would recreate those in 3D space with those rules of head angle to camera, and then let the machine learning program try and guess where those drawings would go. And a person would correct it every time it was wrong, making it therefore another rule. And little by little, we're teaching the computer to make drawings that we find redundant. Learn about the expression.
Okay. And now anything that's closer to that, right? I get what you're saying. It's just the AI doing the mundane, repetitive tasks, not creating the whole image or animation. Yeah. Things like that where they're removing mundane, simple things. Great. Absolutely wonderful. We can spend more of that time doing things that matter and making more amazing artwork and making more amazing stuff, right? And I disagree. So like, this is my point. Like, I disagree with this notion that the only reason we shouldn't do something is because it eliminates jobs. It's just not a good argument to say this eliminates a job. Okay, coal mining. If we remove coal mining and switch to green energy, it removes a job. That argument is faulty. It's not a good argument. So therefore, and allow me to complete my point, I'm not going to read any chat messages until I'm finished. So if you send a chat message before this point, I'm going to ignore it or explode you with my mind. The problem, however, with removing some of these mundane tasks or improving efficiency is whether or not the workers that participate in the work get to appreciate the value that they have provided, the efficiency that they have provided, and whether or not that actually results in them having to work less and enjoy life more. And there's no point of having these improvements if people don't get to appreciate and enjoy the benefits as a result of these improvements. Workers don't add any value. Nice bait. You're banned for bait. And sometimes when I talk about these things, right, which had happened even today in stream, I really appreciate the Gary's economics videos because they do something that I really appreciate in videos, in content, whenever people are talking about certain ideas, where you're not immediately dismissing an idea just off the basis of the idea. You're building the argument on why all of these things are actually incorrect instead of just like, it removes jobs. It's like, that's literally the Chud argument. That's the Chud argument. That's it. You sound like a Chud, dude. I thought we didn't like when Chud said that. Why the fuck are we doing that? Stop. That's cringe. That's cringe. Why can't we just have a world where like animators don't have to do crunch anymore, or like game developers aren't doing crunch, but they're still getting paid the same amount for less manual work? That's a much better. Why can't we perceive that world? That's the world I want to perceive instead of they took her jobs. It's like, what is this reactionary response? No, these are bad ideas and we can tackle these ideas without engaging in stupid fucking Chud arguments. So that's the point that I'm making. And he does a really good job. He talks about all of this in the video. He's like, a lot of economists will go back and forth on whether or not AI decreases wages or AI increases wages. And here are these arguments here, and here are these arguments here, and this is why this. But then he brings in some of the real world and what would functionally happen. So it's a really good video. It talks about it, but I wanted to show that for one brief moment. The goal should be to remove mundane work that produces little to nothing or no benefit to humanity while creating new work that has positive impact on humanity. And I wouldn't even call it work, but value to society, whether it's in the form of creative work and creative projects. For example, in the case of the studio that I pulled up, or in the case of more free time. For example, in the case of that studio, wouldn't it be dope if that had shred 10 hours of work every week for the average worker? And they, instead of having to show up for another 10 hours that week, they could stay home for the same pay and work a 4-hour work week instead. And I'm not saying one of these has to happen for the other one to happen. I'm saying when we look at improvements to technology that actually just completely automate or mostly automate mundane labor, we should try and perceive it in this glass half full lens instead of with like some skepticism, instead of immediately like, they took our jobs, right? That is not going to happen for sure, but that never happens. You violated the rule twice now. I don't want to watch AI. Okay, you literally, by the way, you misunderstood what I said. And then when I explained it, you didn't apologize because you're a sack of shit and you're annoying, and fuck you and you're banned. Never type in here again. You are the type of chatter I was talking about, that you guys just fucking, you exist to annoy me. You exist explicitly only to annoy me. You assume what the stance is of whatever streamer's talking, and then it's like, I'm the smartest person. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Did you not read the rules? Illiterate piece of shit. Read the rules. Don't be annoying. You are annoying. Banned. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? I'm serious about it. But yeah, I think it's good to have the skepticism and say, well, we need to make sure that we fight for the rights so that these animators who are contributing to working on this LLM that saves all of this time, they should be compensated. They should absolutely be compensated for that, and they should get more time off, right? And instead of saying, no, we must reject this technology, we should instead say, okay, this is an acceptable use of this technology. However, only with the condition that the workers get to benefit. If the workers do not get to benefit, fuck you. I feel like that's a much better way to like frame a lot of these discussions. And sometimes it frustrates me when I see leftists see certain things and then they engage in chud arguments where it's like, our jobs. It's like, come on, guys, we can do better. We can refocus the conversation. So, yeah. Okay, so another chatter wants to go. I see. No, but there won't be more time off. There won't be shorter work weeks. Capitalism just funnels it to the top 1%. Did you miss everything that I just said? I said that's why we would fight for it instead of rejecting the technology. I guess. Okay, banned. Anyone else? I've gone mad with power. No, not you. Sorry, chatter. G-Fin, you're great. You're great. Sorry. I feel like you understood what I was trying to say, and totally valid. I was talking about a different chatter. Didn't you say you avoid arguing? I did. I have been. People have been getting banned, so I have been. I have been, actually. I've also seen a lot of other people talking about whether or not something is an LLM or an AI. And I'm saying that, like, we don't have to talk these are larger ideas. Even if you're saying, and even if you want to make the argument, well, that specifically is not an AI. It's a learning machine, so it's not even an AI. So you can't even describe it as an AI. I'm saying, even on the topic of AI, I think we should be able to rationally discuss these things and say, yeah, this is a fucking... I'm sorry, you want to generate 15 photos of a woman in a bikini? No. That is a fucking... What is the benefit to society? Let's see the cost. The cost is all of our water. Okay. And the benefit is... What exactly? No, I don't think so. No. Yeah. Oh, you want to build a learning machine that can help you cut down on some of this mundane work, and then you want to demand rights for the people that, worked on it. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't see... Okay. That seems pretty reasonable. All right. Clean water for AI porn is crazy. I know, right? Caught. I don't want to ban, but could you shake me with love? Yes. All right. Anything else? Is that it? I think that was it. I think that was all I wanted to say on that. Yeah, but all of that was to say, the problem with talking about AI, or the problem with talking about any technology and ignoring the real ramifications of that technology being used to just destroy people's actual lives, it just pisses me off. Because I'm not anti-technology, and I will never be anti-technology, and I will never be against technology that improves people's lives and removes mundane labor that provides no joy. My opinion about labor is exactly the opinion about Marie Kondo that Marie Kondo has about cleaning, which is, does it spark joy? And I think there are a lot of things that spark joy in every single field that people work in, because a lot of it has to do with the joy of having created something you worked hard on. I know people who program, who hate programming, and I know people who program who are like, no, it feels really good when you have like this idea of something that should work and you actually execute it and it fucking works. It's great. It's like there's a high to it that's not comparable to like other things. And I really enjoy it. And I'm like, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. And I think it's like that for a lot of things. But if the work does not spark joy, of course I'm for automation, right? Like, I don't think it sparks joy to have people work in the hot sun for like acres and acres and acres picking radishes. If we could automate that, I would absolutely want that. That's not labor that sparks joy. Mundane, repetitive labor that just breaks your back is not exactly joy-sparking labor, right? However, I also understand people's like frustration with AI or because I fucking hate it, but I also understand people's frustration with like any technology because they know that it's going to be used as to create an even larger disparity between the richest and the poorest. But I want to imagine a world where that is not the case. And I don't want to imagine a world where anytime that there is any technology, the immediate argument is always our jobs. I want to imagine a world where we see that and we demand even more. I want to imagine a world like France where they fucking start lighting things on fire because they want one more week off of work that year. They're like 60 weeks off. Sorry, there's only 52 weeks in a year. All right, let me reel it back just a little. We only have 30 weeks off in the year. We want it to be 40 weeks off in the year. And then they just start burning down half the city. It's like low key pop off, dude. Yes. Yes. Amen. And like we have so much. I just can't, I cannot on principle be anti-technology that provides value. And this is the same idea here, right? Like it's just frustrating to see like someone like Elon be like, AI is so amazing and it's going to be the best in the world ever. Okay, but do I still steal the copper and assorted valuable minerals from the AI data center? Or no, somebody else who isn't you in Black Bloc should do that because you would never do that. And you would never, ever admit to a crime because we're all people that never commit crimes. So that was just to say, fucking makes me mad where it's like, no, AI is going to make all of our lives wonderful. It's going to be so amazing. Oh, fuck you. Stupid, ugly piece of shit. I fucking hate him. I hate him. Bad built, butch body, whatever the fuck. Hate him. I wonder, is it that everybody hates Elon Musk because everyone is just so mean? Or do they hate Elon Musk because he fucking sucks? One thing people don't realize is that you can run a functional AI bot on your PC with local graphics card and it works pretty well. It's just a slow typer. I just don't know enough about what that would even look like. I know for a fact that, I'm sorry, like the insane water usage for people to talk to a bot is like deranged to me. I'm sorry, I'm totally pro-China on this one, to be very clear. We should not have AI that you can date. I'm sorry, visual novels exist. Okay? Grow up. No, I want to talk to my bot. Grow up. Okay? Go on Valorant and find love like everybody else does. All right? Unbelievable. People are just so lazy nowadays. Go on Valorant and talk about what your favorite pretty princess is, and I promise you, you'll find someone within 5 minutes. Okay? Valorant is literally just like speed dating for people who go on the internet. All right? Get this mega data center they want to put next to my fucking house uses 2 million gallons of water a day. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. That's good. Valorant is key, really? Yeah. Do you have to be good at Valorant? Not really, no. I think it helps, but I compare it to looks maxing, being good at Valorant. It helps, but, you know, your personality is what's actually going to carry you. Chatter said, League got me laid once. Guys, I've known many people that have found love on the internet, and I'm not joking. I knew someone who went to frequent orgies because of World of Warcraft, and I'm not joking, okay? You can find love anywhere, as long as you're looking for love. As long as you have love in your heart, and you're looking for that love, whatever you're putting out there in the world is what you're going to get back. Freaky ass guild. Must have been a crazy guild, bro. I believe that LOL makes me remember the story of a girl getting her epic mount by getting laid IRL. You're telling me there's a chance Asmongold's a big orgy guy? Well, no, because you still have to leave your house, and he doesn't leave his house, okay? This friend of mine actually left his house. He was down to fly out for fucking orgies, okay? Asmund is not willing to go to like the store. All right, you have to be willing to commit a little bit. And let's be real, ain't nobody having an orgy in that fucking disgusting shithole. Jesus. Relationships are nothing but the road to pain right after you felt loved. It's like true love that lasts the rest of your life is not a thing anymore. Give it a few years and you end up heartbroken. This is at least my experience. I don't know how to say this nicely, but you literally sound like the villain, one of the first villains from the cartoon show My Life as a Teenage Robot. Okay? I don't know that I can find it, but that's what you sound like. Okay? If anyone knows the episode, you know what I'm talking about. Holy pull, what the fuck? Sorry. I was a little bit, an ancient pull. Maybe it was this one. You are literally, I found it actually. This is a crazy pull.
Charlotte. Oh yeah!
This is you.
It's up to us to spread the misery around. This one's for Lucy. This one's for Greta. For Terry. For Mary. For Charlotte. You never dated Charlotte. Oh yeah! It's for the best. She would have dumped me anyway.
All right, boys, you've broken enough rules for one day.
I forgot. She put it down. This is so stupid. This is the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life. Oh, God. Oh, all right. Clocked, I'm afraid. Anyways, unashamed to say that the robot was my childhood crush. Good. I don't trust anyone who wouldn't. That wasn't one of your childhood crushes. Who the fuck are you? Are you kidding me?